Quick question. Do you cross the street when traffic is coming? Probably not. Do you put your hand into a blazing fire to pick out hot blazing coals? Well, probably not twice. Do you lay on the ground and let people run over you with their car? Probably not. So these are rhetorical, silly questions and probably a little ridiculous. But the reason I bring it up is that doing these things will not serve you. You're going to get badly injured and they might even kill you. Well, it's the same thing with our thinking. Our thinking is what drives our actions, whether it's conscious or subconscious. If our thinking is not serving us or may even kill us, then why are we thinking harmful, debilitating thoughts on a daily basis? Hi, I'm Dennis Berry, best-selling author and life coach for addiction recovery and life mastery. So one of the things I talk about all the time is how our addictions are not our real problem. Our addictions are what we are using to cope with our real problem, which is usually our thinking. It's our subconscious minds that are driving over 80% of our actions all the time. Our subconscious minds that, if not managed, will drive us right into a wall. And I used to share, back in my partying days, I would wake up so sick and hungover and remorseful and say, I'm never drinking or doing cocaine ever again. And then at some point in the day, I'd end up at the bar doing shots and I wouldn't even remember how I got there. I used to joke and say, my car just automatically turned right into the parking lot on my way home. So I was subconsciously doing what I needed to do to kill the pains of my life, my fears, my failures, my insecurities. It was just too much for me. So I intuitively went to the bar to blot it out of my vision so I didn't have to do anything about it, at least until tomorrow or next week or whenever the judge called. You know, this is the human condition. People have been doing it forever. People do it with eating, porn, drugs, alcohol, smoking. We'd much rather numb out than feel whatever it is that we're feeling. Then what happens is that huge chunks of time, huge chunks of our life go by and we don't even realize that it's happening. So sometimes it's like heartache or grief or health problems or financial debt that's causing these problems. It might start out as manageable, and then at some point you start to lose control of the real problem. So you start turning to outside things to help you cope with the overwhelming nature of the problem. So we really need to treat the real problem in order to get rid of your addictions or to get rid of those things, those blockages that are holding you back in life. So, and these behaviors start in early years and we don't even realize it. So I had a client a few years ago, and he's still a client. He was just stuck in life and he had lots of goals and dreams and he was very talented, very capable, but he wouldn't do what was needed to do on a daily basis. And he would wake up with enthusiasm and good intentions and a little headache each day. But by the time the day was over, he got nothing done that would push him towards his goals. So we started doing lots of intensive writing exercises and removing some of the blockages that were keeping him down, but we couldn't figure it out. And after about a month, I was getting frustrated too, because there's usually like a glaring defect that I can pick out, that I can see, but I couldn't get it out there. And then we were talking during our 5th session, and he just happened to mention that he was drinking 4 whiskeys every night to go to sleep. Interesting. So why didn't he mention that a month ago? So he was blaming everybody and everything for not being successful. He was complaining that other people were getting where they wanted to be, but he was just stuck, and he was accusing his ex-wife of taking away his happiness. Well, now we're getting somewhere, okay? It's always funny when people leave out little details like I drink 4 whiskeys every night to help me sleep. Having a whiskey on the rocks once or twice a week, or a fine glass of wine to release some tension and relax every now and then, that's great. That's the purpose of that stuff, if you don't have a problem. But drinking 4 whiskeys every night is not relaxing. That's an addiction, right? Using outside sources to cope with your inside pain. Now that we know that, we can see what it is he was numbing out. Well, it turns out he's been enabled his entire life, and he's 44 years old. He has a learning disorder, so his parents always gave him special attention and a little self-pity, never pushed him to work hard for himself and accomplish anything, which just kept him down for decades. He had no accountability, and he didn't need to have any. So after his divorce, instead of getting his own place and finding ways to succeed, he moved in with his brother and his family, and his brother has been taking care of him for a couple of years now, more enabling. So he's had no consequences for his actions. So he can keep carrying on with that same harmful behavior because he doesn't have to change anything because his family keeps helping him, but they're not helping him. We have lots of work to do, lots of blocks to remove, and he's now on his own. His painting business is thriving. He has a new girlfriend. And this was all in less than 6 months of working together. And sometimes we can accomplish these things in a month, and sometimes it takes a couple of years to get it done. But you have to make a start. So the good news is that we can reprogram our subconscious minds with effort, willingness, and time, and usually a coach or something. But that's what I do. So how can I reprogram my subconscious mind? Well, it starts with awareness. It starts by getting your ego out of the way, which is always my problem, and reaching out to somebody who isn't emotionally attached to your problem and asking for help. And next, there are some systems and processes that we implement into your life to help you reprogram your mind. This is how we can remove those addictions and blockages from your life that are keeping you from being as useful, successful, and productive as you can be. So here are a few tips and strategies I use with my client. Number one, emotional regulation. This is huge. I could talk about this for a long time, but a quick snapshot is that once you recognize your limiting harmful behaviors, like shutting down or passive aggressive behavior, we practice actively changing your behaviors in similar situations. And over time, with effort, your habits begin to change and you can communicate better and have more meaningful conversations and even laugh a little bit more. It's about recognizing when your mind gets into that state. And at that moment, change your reaction to the situation. So remember, this takes time. It may have taken 20 or 30 years for you to develop these harmful habits. It's going to take more than a week to reprogram your subconscious mind. So number two, journaling. Writing is one of the most powerful tools in changing your harmful thinking. It's a huge part of my practice. My job as a coach isn't to give you all the answers you need to change your life. In fact, if I did that, I would be enabling you. So my job is to show you how to recognize it yourself. So when you're writing these very specific exercises, the answers will eventually make sense. I call them aha moments. The writing slows your mind down, which is usually your mind is thinking one thought every second. That's like 80,000 thoughts every single day. It's impossible to accomplish every productive thing you're trying to do on your impossible to-do list when you're thinking new crazy thoughts every second. So journaling is one of the most effective ways to stay focused and calm your mind down and stay focused on what's really important to work towards your goals every day. And number three, talking with your accountability partner. Again, I mentioned talking with a coach or a counselor is crucial for success. And there are multiple reasons to do this, but two of them are, one, they are not emotionally attached to your problems. So they can see things that you can't see. And in many cases, you're probably in some sort of like fear-based outcome of your situation. Like, oh my God, if I can't get through this, then this is going to happen. I'm going to have more debt. I'm going to lose my relationship. I'm going to have this health problem, right? So they can help you navigate through it without crashing into the same walls that they crashed into because they've been through these experiences themselves. So there you have it. And if you or anybody you know or love is struggling with alcoholism or addiction of any kind, please reach out. I'm here to help. I'm sending you all love and good vibes. Have a great day today.